Hello, welcome to another podcast from Hello Reality. It's Eric
Hello.
and Joseph again. We should figure out a catchy intro of any kind. We just start talking. That's all we do. We just get right into it. We're not fancy at all, are we?
You don't like me interrupting you and saying hello?
Actually,
You
that's
don't
my
enjoy that?
that's my favorite part. That's the only part I do like. Especially because you
Yeah.
say it so flat too, like hello.
Yeah.
It really gets me.
Big episode. I thought this was a great episode, Eric. I was very excited about. Oh, how are you, by the way?
That doesn't.
What's going on with you?
Let's not pretend. Okay, you know what? You asking me how I'm doing. You know what that feels like? It feels like MJ pretending that he cares about Brad, or Sylvia pretending that she cares about Kellyanne. Okay, so just save it, or buddy. You know that?
This was like a great episode of like Cold War feuds. It felt like Kellyanne and Sylvia's was a little bit spicier. But I love these modern day All Stars feuds. We got the Nehemiah and the Derricks. We got the Brad and the MJs now, where it's just like subtle, doesn't really say, don't really know why they hate each other, but they just do.
Very one-sided as well, both of them. I think, in the sense that MJ doesn't know why Brad's coming after him. I think a lot of it is just Brad gave him one sabotage, and he was like, "Well, they might as well just target him for the rest of the game. Don't want to make any more enemies."
I think it goes back to Cyrus, right? Like it goes back to Brad being mad. I was thinking about this, about Cyrus getting sent to the elimination. He didn't want MJ to do that twice in a row to Cyrus. And he
Wow.
avenged him.
You might be right. I forgot all about that. He was like, "That's it.
Yeah.
From now on, in memory of Cyrus, who trained really hard for this season, you're dead. You're dead,
Yeah.
MJ."
Yeah. And like that's why he put the first sabotage on him. And then at that point, it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna give it to him every time now.
Listen, that makes
So that's where it
sense.
started.
That makes sense. Can you explain why Sylvia hates Kellyanne so much? Is there any kind of explanation for
Yeah,
that?
yeah, there was nothing for that. I might have to rewatch the season, but man, Eric, were you right and was I wrong
Oh,
on
stop
Sylvia
it.
this
Oh,
season?
stop it, Joseph.
Yes,
You don't
yes.
you don't
I'll
have to
give
say
you. I'll
that.
give
You
you
don't
your
have to say that.
flowers. Yes. You can record that and replay it ad nauseum for yourself if you'd like.
I think
But
I got a new intro to the
she
podcast right there. Thank you.
really damn it, she really upended her good reputation with me this season, which I know is something she cares deeply about, and
Mm.
really just in one episode just seems so bitter and nasty. And yeah, did not like seeing this side of Sylvia.
I did.
And now I know why
I
I
did
didn't
like
like
it.
her in the first place. Yeah, you enjoyed
I
it.
feel like this is what happens with Sylvia, and then she'll go another season or two or another 5 years, and then she'll come back, and you'll be like, I kind of like Sylvia. Like, what, Eric? Why are you not excited to have her back in the season? I don't get it, and I'm gonna have to remember it this time because she does shit like this. I don't know what it is. I don't remember what she did the last time, but I feel like she just does this Mean Girls-esque, unlikable stuff, and she's coming out of position where like you can't back up this stuff. Yeah, her elimination record is good going into this, but I think it's probably inflated. If I had to guess, I got to go do some research on that. And then she comes in and just bashes Kellyanne all episode long. We'll get to some quotes from her later. They're all just super mean. Kellyanne, like I really want to know what happened, if anything, to drive this kind of hatred.
Especially when it's like Kellyanne's really been helpless like this whole season. It's not like she's had been in power and is like going after anyone. They've just been picking on her and Kendall, which is fine. It's
Yeah.
the game. They're the most threatening people. But to make it personal and to, shit on Kellyanne's win after she has it, unsportsmanlike.
Yes, couldn't agree more. And then we got Naya and Derek with some big wins at the end of the episode. On a more positive note, that was fun. That was cool. They both just went into the
Yes.
elimination like almost out of nowhere. They haven't really been talked about too much this season. And they both took out the person who picked them because they thought they were the best bet. And that was kind of a nice way to end the episode, I thought. A little bit vindicating.
That is cool that both of them were thought to be, weak in that particular type of challenge by the people who chose them.
Yeah.
And not only that, the weakest out of anyone they could have picked in their minds. So that's cool that they both proved them wrong.
They sure did. All right.
Yep.
Would you like to get into the episode proper now?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's start by talking about one of the major rivalries. I'm talking, of course, about Brad versus MJ's knee. What are your thoughts about this heated rivalry?
Does Brad think is MJ faking it? Like, what's going on? I don't know what to think here.
I no, he's not faking it. No, that's
You
so
don't think you,
stupid. You-
he even told Mark you saw that thing where he's like, "Oh man, my knee's fine. Like I'm ready to go against Brad. I'm gonna kill him." You think he was lying about that?
I don't really know what he gains from that totally, but I think he's more trying to make it seem like he's not just an automatic win, like acting tough. Because if he is, if people think that his knee's really bad, then they're going to pick him in a lot of eliminations. So I would guess it's more because of that. Did you watch him? I paid very close attention to him in the challenge. He was running extremely slow, and he basically took the sabotage because he didn't think he had a chance in hell of winning it anyway, right? So I don't think MJ is some strategic mastermind throwing dailies at this point in the game so close to a final.
Do you feel like he could have won, or like he at least could have not gotten last or something? I don't know.
Um,
He's
I,
just standing on the paddleboard, really.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know how bad his knee is. I think he could have won. I don't see why not. He had no shot in the
Yeah.
final though, right? Like at this rate, like there's no way.
No, I think like even like getting there, you make it worse. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Let's see. I mean, I don't know though, because like some of these injuries, they do just take like an ice pack in a couple of days. You know, you never know. So just depends.
I guess. I thought that was interesting. I don't think Brad is correct in guessing that it's all a ruse, even though he was kind of funny about it.
It sounded like that was like very funny to Derek. Like Derek was just like, dude, he's not faking. Like he laughed pretty hard at that.
I think so
I
too.
like Derek this episode. I know people are gonna criticize him for his over celebration at the end, which a little bit warranted, but he was pretty funny this episode.
I thought he was great. Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
criticize him. I thought it was pretty funny. You know, he's just trying to make good
I've already
TV.
seen people do it on Reddit. That's why I'm putting it out there.
Oh, okay.
But,
All right.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, to each their own. I get it. I'm tired of criticizing Derek. I've loved him this whole season, and this episode is another great one.
I hope Derek wins.
He'd,
I'm rooting for Derek to win.
it'd be a good winner. Anything else before the daily though? I know we got a couple different segments with Kellyanne and MJ, so we kind of know they're going to be at the focal point of this episode. I didn't think there's anything really exciting to talk about though. Did you?
No. I think it was funny that like Brad says that MJ's playing a scared game though after last episode. He just please don't put me in a limit, please.
Yes. I also thought that was funny. I did actually take a note of that. Brad played the most scared game last episode, but whatever, Brad.
Whatever, Brad.
Okay,
Float your boat.
you want to just get to the daily? Kind of just picks up with the daily. I thought.
Kellyanne's boyfriend was very handsome.
Oh,
also a
dude,
redhead.
I can't believe I almost forgot to mention that. Thank you, Joseph, for picking up my slack there. Yeah. Good for Kellyanne. Good for Kellyanne. Good for them both.
Also a redhead like Wes.
Wow.
I don't know.
Does she have a type? I don't know. Dude, I didn't know that they dated, or if I did, I'd erase that memory.
You didn't know that Kellyanne and Wes dated?
I probably did at some point in my life, but at this point in my life, I did not know that.
Have you ever seen or it must have been a while since you've seen the ruins or something, because that was like a big storyline.
Was it really?
Yeah,
You know,
that was like a huge storyline.
When I go back to watch the ruins, I never really watch the whole season again. I usually just like to dip in and look at the beginning where Wes is doing the whole throwing challenges and screaming at people phase, and then I kind of tune out, and I guess I just miss those parts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, the Ruins is a good season overall. I think there's a lot of toxic stuff in it, but the drama was electric.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of the daily? Stacked. It was called again. Such a shitty name.
One of the better dailies, honestly, just by default.
Yeah.
like there's nothing spectacular about it, really, but it was good. There wasn't anything that stood out that was bad, so I guess it's a good daily, right?
Yeah, I thought it was same reaction. It was fine. It was a race, which was cool. People get eliminated and dropped off as you go, but I like that you don't reset. You just keep going and keep going. And it came down to a puzzle. Like, sure, felt kind of like a Survivor challenge for more ways than one. You
And
know?
I think those type of puzzles work better for TV too, because you're like, oh, is it gonna fall? Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think those play better.
Speaking of which, I was able to grab a picture of the puzzle for reference from the episode. Here it is, Joseph.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
For
you.
podcast only
This is
listeners,
a clip from the episode. Yeah.
yeah, this is a picture of Michelle Fitzgerald because this puzzle was lifted directly from Survivor. Not even they changed it from a circle to a star, which I would have thought would have given Kellyanne more trouble considering she doesn't know what stars are.
Good callback. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
So who went first? The men, right?
It was
Yeah,
a
the
man.
men
Yeah,
went
let's
first.
talk about the guys.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about with the guys part?
Well, Derek was the first one to get his number, and he goes out there, and Jordan really cut the lead. It seemed like seems like he is a paddle boarder type. Um, I thought
Jordan's
it was
good
really
at everything.
funny. Yeah, Jordan gets good at everything. MJ volunteers to get the sabotage, by the way, which whatever. Probably not a great move, but he's probably going to get it anyway, and his knee sucks, so whatever. And so he's pretty much out of the challenge from the get go. And who else gets eliminated with him? Was it Mark?
It must have been Mark.
Mark, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Nehemiah and Wes get eliminated on the paddle boards together, which is a great scene. The editors really did a number with this one. I love it when they get fun with this stuff and they just like,
Same.
and man, isn't it crazy that Wes and Nehemiah have like been making us laugh and enjoy ourselves on TV for almost like 20 years now? It's pretty insane. And to see and I feel like we never got like their bromance on the challenge. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, they've really never done like that many seasons together. They really had like rivals. I guess they did the duel together, but we really didn't see much of that.
Yeah.
And so it's cool that we're seeing it now.
One of my first seasons was Rivals when I started getting into the challenge, and I came away from that season having no clue that they had a close history. It was not until later, probably because Nehemiah just simply didn't factor into that season too much. Him and Evan were kind of quiet.
They just have that one clip when Nehemiah's getting mad at Evan and everything, and Wes is like, "He's my best friend. He's wrong, but he's mad right now. Okay, leave him alone."
That was pretty good. Speaking of, if you're also a big fan of Rivals and you don't know it, we did a whole deep dive back into Rivals, one of our favorite seasons, and you can check that out back in our podcast history. If you're so inclined and you really need something to listen to, then that's there for you. But going back to the present, it is. We had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I agree. This was so much fun. Yeah, I love these stupid little segments too. Wes and Nehemiah, they're bromance. They're making it really deep into a season, at least in terms of All Stars, where the final happens like when there's half the players left, and they might make a final together, dude. It might happen.
I mean, yeah, it seems like 8 people of each gender get into the final nowadays. So
Roughly, yeah, something like that.
Pretty good chance. Pretty good chance.
Speaking of Nehemiah, can I say one more thing about him before we move on?
Yeah.
He had a confessional where it was tough to see him. I did capture a little image of him. I think this was him right here. He's talking about how he's playing a very stealth game this season. And I thought he and Derek are both playing a pretty stealth game. And I wanted to just get your take on that because, you know, we are like big strategy fans, even though sometimes it's hard to spot the strategy in the challenge, just like it was hard to spot Nehemiah in this confessional. What do you think about his game that he's playing?
I'm not sure how much of it is like circumstance type of thing, where people are just going after weaker people, and then you got this kind of people want to get rid of Jordan and because they're huge threats, and then you have this cold war between MJ and Brad. Like he's doing a good job. He's like doing good, but I also think he's just kind of falling in the right place.
Yeah.
Same thing with Derek. Derek also has a lot of friends too, and I think that just benefits him on any season he's on.
Yeah,
which
you're probably
is,
right.
A compliment to his social game. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. But hey, it's nice. I thought it was nice to see Nehemiah and Derek kind of fall back into that role this season. I think it's served them both pretty well. No targets on them really this whole season long. Whereas in past seasons, I think they might have kind of put targets on themselves when they didn't really need to. So I just would like to
Right.
commend their gameplay
I
a little bit.
Oh no, for sure. I think Nehemiah and Derek are both really good at the show, actually. And I think it's only when they kind of try to step from outside of themselves, and try to be something that they're not, where they maybe kind of falter a little bit.
Yeah.
When they try to play like the strategic mastermind or whatever, it's just like, dude, that's not your game.
Right. Do less. Okay.
Yeah.
Enough said on that. We get back to the daily, and Jordan tries to come back, but he can't do it. Brad wins again. He's been killing it.
Damn, he really has. Like, and on all fronts too. Like, this was a puzzle. It's not necessarily something that you identify with Brad's skill set, and he just killed it. That confessional, by the way, of Jordan saying that hey, Derek's here, so you know he's gonna fuck up the puzzle, and then cut to Derek being like, "I suck at puzzles." That actually made me laugh like pretty hard.
That was pretty good.
The 1-2 punch on that joke was pretty good.
Especially with the elimination. It's not exactly a puzzle,
Yes!
but it really
Great
tied
setup.
in together. pretty well.
Mazes are puzzles. You got to think ahead and like be like, you know, what I mean? Like they're not the most complicated puzzles in my opinion, but
Yeah,
like
non-physical. They're non-physical thing that
Yeah.
is usually not Derek's strength, but he came back and redeemed himself later.
Yes. So the women's heat is up next. Veronica is quickly out of there because she just, I don't know, memorized her numbers upside down. Is that what she did?
Yeah,
Like, I feel like you can only do that with a 6, right?
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Moving on, you know, she
Who else was
tanked
eliminated
it.
in that heat?
Would it have been Kayla, or was she still in
It
it?
was. Oh no, Kayla was on the paddle board.
Then
Naya got
I
eliminated on
forget
that one.
who was it.
Who cares?
Um,
I know. I want to do it just to know for myself. but yeah, I
Okay,
can't remember.
I'll try and think about it. Was it Sylvia?
Sylvia?
Yeah,
Yeah,
might have been Sylvia. Okay, so they're out.
it was.
We do the paddle board. Naya has no idea how to paddle. Kayla, I think, is eliminated here too. It comes down to the puzzle between Kellyanne, Ronnie, and John A. And I was ready for this to be a total heartbreaker with Kellyanne, especially if she would have lost this episode.
Oh my God.
This was like one of the craziest things I've seen. Wow.
Yeah.
The wind.
So she comes up and Wes gives her some advice. We see that. And she says that she's thankful for that. That was a nice moment to see. Harking back to the relationship. And we get all this setup, like you said, of like Kellyanne having these meltdowns during puzzles. I thought that clip they didn't show of her being like, "Oh, we love puzzles. They're an equalizer." That was so funny. Like, I thought that was a great clip.
Yeah.
And this goes to show you, man, always pick the middle puzzle on these type of challenges, I think, where there's wind involved. That way you have two people blocking you from each side.
Wow, advanced strategy talk from Joseph. That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, the Kellyanne, big mistake picking the one in the end. Of course, such a no-brainer.
Yes.
Pick the middle one
No-brainer.
when
No,
there's wind involved.
And that might not have affected it anyway, because it seemed like it was blowing like in that direction. So really can't do anything about that. But I thought, you know, like Jordan did, that she was going to break down, Eric. I thought Kellyanne was done.
She totally redeemed herself. Yeah, she not only was this a puzzle, it was a star puzzle, and she still won despite having the wind take the puzzle down literally as she was about to put the star up on top of it. And she stayed cool, listened to Wes's advice, I guess, a little bit, and then came back and won. Probably also in large part due to this piece right here. That how did Ronnie not see this? Like, I don't. It's right there in front of her.
At any point,
was there some weird editing involved? Was she? She looked like she was on the last stage forever, and seemingly never caught that last piece. Super weird, but in any case, it doesn't come back to bite her this episode. But she does miss out on protecting the treehouse. Thank God, from my perspective. So happy to see the treehouse lose.
Yes.
Especially with Sylvia acting like she was this whole episode.
Yeah, even if I wasn't annoyed by Sylvia, it's just nice to see somebody upset the apple cart, especially someone like Kellyanne who's just in direct opposition of everyone else. It's like, this is the person we need not to win. How often does that person actually win on these shows? I feel like it's rare. So that was cool to see. I also feel like when Kellyanne was putting up the star up originally, this is just my theory that maybe she did it too fast. Because if you see her bring it up, she kind of goes like this, like in a fast upward motion with the
Hmm.
star. And I feel like if she would have put it up slowly, maybe the first time, that might have.
Maybe,
But
maybe.
rewatch it to see. It's yeah.
Okay. And there's one other thing I wanted to talk about actually. Going back a little bit, this just happened to be a confessional during the daily. And this was something John A said that I thought was pretty interesting that the editors put in here. I think you know what I'm talking about. I have the quote here.
Oh,
Winning is very important to me because I want to keep MJ out of elimination. Oh, and I want to keep myself safe too. I forgot about that. I mean, is she like all but saying that? Like, that is such a weird thing to say. The fact that she slipped up like that, the fact that the editors put that confessional in the episode right after the last one. I mean, come on, dude.
Eric, I'm no Scooby Doo.
Was he the big mystery solver? Was
But God,
I
but
think you mean
God
Velma.
damn.
I think Velma's probably the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
right
yeah.
reference here.
Yeah, Scooby Doo just sounded funnier.
I think you are a
But
Scooby Doo,
anyway,
actually. You're like, well, Eric, I'm a Scooby Doo, but, but
yeah, well. If I'm Scooby Doo, that makes you Shaggy, bitch. But anyway,
I'll take it.
so
I like Shaggy. He's cool.
but anyway, at this point, it's like if you don't think there's something going on, like does Johnny have to look directly in the camera and be like, "We're having an affair"? I don't know. What, like this just
The next
unless
confessional.
you're having one current, it's just there's something going on. Something happened. Something.
Yeah, again, they're like, we're not currently having an affair. Wink.
We are not currently making out. I'm doing a confessional right now. How would I be able to make out with him? I'm
Yeah.
doing a confessional.
Guys, don't be ridiculous. Our affair ended 30 minutes ago. It might start up again as soon as I get out of this confessional, but we're not currently having an affair right now as we speak. Okay, so like back off, dude.
Guys, we only do that between filming. We don't. Come on, we're not that stupid.
It wasn't really so much the confessional either. It was just the fact that the editors decided to put it in that I think says something. But
I think it's partly the confessional too.
It's both. It's both.
It's just her ellipsis of ... and me too. Like
yeah. It was great. Okay, so there's that, and then one other interesting thing happens this daily, and that's what Sylvia says after Kellyanne wins, which is just so petty. Kellyanne's super stoked that she did a puzzle, especially after the wind knocked it down, and she's celebrating. Sylvia goes, "If I act like that when I win, just shoot me." It's like I feel like I'm watching Mean Girls, like the movie again. I know it's an easy comparison, but still.
It'd be one thing if it was like a stupid carnival game or something like that, I guess. But like, it's one of those things that's just like,
You mean like ring toss?
yeah,
Hypothetically.
right? But it's like she had a puzzle before where she did really bad and wasn't able to focus. The wind blows it over. She gets completely screwed pretty much. And she's able to overcome that and still wins. Like, come on. If you can't celebrate that, like I don't know. Yeah, just her being petty and bitter. We didn't talk about this either, but Sylvia did make the decision to put the sabotage on John A instead of Kellyanne, which now everybody's like, oh my God, such a horrible decision because of the way it turned out. I don't think it would have mattered.
No, I
really
mean,
it didn't seem like John A was like close even.
Yeah,
like,
she was right there as well. We know she's good at puzzles.
Yeah,
Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
The Trios is a known commodity. There's two
It was a
people
good
outside
thought.
it. Yeah.
It was a good thought. How are you supposed to know that Kellyanne's gonna, all of
Right.
a sudden be great at puzzles? It's like, come on.
Of all the things Sylvia did this episode, I do not have a problem with that one. That
Right.
that one is fine.
Yeah. Even Kayla was roasting her in the confessional for it. I'm like,
Yeah, you know what? That's
results-oriented, people.
you took the words out of my mouth. That's what it is.
Sorry,
That's what
yeah.
no, you're good. That's how you do it. That's results-oriented thinking right there. All right. Post daily. Really briefly, would you like to talk about Sylvia's poor stepson, who just got put on blast for his report card on Paramount
man.
Plus?
Oh man, Eric, when I see you this Sunday, those grades better be up, buddy. Yeah, I poor kid.
Seriously, these
I gotta see how bad the grades are too. I feel like is she being hard on him? Is it like
right.
a bunch of C's? You know what I mean? Because yeah, it's not great, but do I really need to get blasted on national television for it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like one D? Is it a couple Fs? Like, what are we talking about?
What if Sylvia is just this total high standards brainiac? You know the type in school when they get a B plus on something and they're like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever done. Oh, this is
Oh
terrible.
my
What
god.
if his report card was like a couple of B's and B pluses?
I feel like Sylvia is that type of person too. Like she reminds me of people like that in high school who I hated. And now I hate her, so makes sense. Like they just have not necessarily people who do everything right, but they do everything right and they have an attitude about it, and
Yeah.
that's how she is.
See, I can't say anything about that because I'm pretty sure I was like that in middle school at least. Hopefully not too outwardly, but just, in case anyone's listening who's going to call me a liar, I can't say that. And then my attitude very quickly shifted when I got to college. And at that
Yes.
point, it was like, I'll take a C in some of these classes. C would have been great. So
Yeah.
perspectives change.
Yeah. So hopefully his grades are doing better now. And now Sylvia, she's going to be at home now and she can help him out with that. So
Yeah.
that's great.
What a happy ending. Okay.
What a happy ending.
They're at the party as well. And probably one of the top 3, 5, maybe most awkward conversations ever on the challenge, I believe, takes place.
and we just had that thing with Beth and John A last episode.
Which is wild, right? There's the Beth and John A. There's the Beth and Veronica conversation, and then
Yeah.
and then there's Sylvia and Kellyanne attempting to become allies, kind of.
Oh my god. And it seemed like it was going in that direction at some point where Kellyanne was like, okay, maybe we could work together. And then by the end of it, it was like, no, there's just nothing.
I think Kellyanne, if anything, this is an embarrassing look for Kellyanne, thinking that there's a chance that the two of them are ever going to work together.
Right?
What are you
I thought
thinking?
she was about to get suckered into it. For a second, I was like,
Oh
what?
my god, I know. That would have been so embarrassing for her. Thankfully,
Oh, she was close. This is on Big Brother when someone becomes the HOH and they just pick the complete wrong nominees.
Yeah.
I totally felt that turning in my stomach.
Oh, there have been some bad ones too. There have been some real bad ones, and this would have been just like that. This would have been like Shades of Howie, Big Brother 6.
Yes.
That it would have been that bad, I think. But luckily, she doesn't fall for there's a treehouse that everyone knows about that's been running this game so far. There's John A and Nia outside of it. Hey Sylvia, what do you think we should do? You know what? I think there's 2 big threats in this game. And Nia and John A, I think we should be looking at them right about now. It's like, shut up, dude. Why are you even trying? Well, because it almost worked, apparently. So
That's the craziest part about it is if she didn't hate Sylvia so much, it would have worked.
Mm.
I think she just hates her so much that she can't work with her. So if Sylvia's social game was just a little bit better, if she didn't make that one comment maybe after the challenge, this could have been a manageable situation.
yeah.
And that just one goes to Kellyanne is just not good. The social, political, strategic, anything like that. She's bad.
Yeah, seriously. This is a no-brainer. I mean, if anything, I'm surprised that she ultimately went after Sylvia. I would have been more scared of Kayla in a final, I think. But just go after someone from the treehouse who's likely to win another daily, because you probably got 1 or 2 left, and just maximize your chances of not automatically going in to the daily the next episode. It really is that easy.
I think she made the right decision picking Sylvia over Kayla. Kayla, as we know, mentally she's a bum. It seems like Sylvia is a little bit better at some of the puzzles, and I feel like the puzzles just come up all the time.
Okay, well, that's fair. And Sylvia does have a solid track record in some of these things. Again, the final, I just skew towards being most threatened by the people who are good at running. I feel like that's been a pretty big part of both finals so far. Yeah, both All-Stars finals. But let's talk about it. Authority. Brad and Kellyanne, one of these newfangled 2-person authorities. Why don't you go a little deeper into their decision making, and if you think this was super standard, or if there's anything that you thought was interesting about their decision?
Brad's decision I actually thought was the most interesting here,
Mm-hmm.
because
Wait. Can I guess why?
and
Can I guess why?
yeah, go for it. Go
Does it
for
rhyme with Borden?
it. Dude. Like I just oh my god, like do they just like want to go against him in the end and like see if they can beat him? Because they're not going to. Like I at least I don't think so, unless like something like a puzzle or something eliminates Jordan at some point, which hey, that could happen. You know what I mean? These challenges, these finals are super wonky.
They're they're
But
pretty wonky sometimes. Yeah, but
yeah,
still.
but man, like, but I also kind of get it too, because like, do you really want to keep MJ around? But also, MJ's probably not going to win anything. Like, he's got a bum knee. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I am completely
Send in Jordan.
yeah.
That's the move, right?
Unless this is a Mark Long Johnny Bananas wink wink nudge nudge deal situation that some of these players have with Jordan, I just don't get it, dude. I don't understand what is happening here. And at this point, I simply hope Jordan wins the season so they all look so stupid for not voting him in more. Because like when you look at this cast, we're like, okay, so put in Jordan every time, right? That's the game plan because otherwise he's gonna win. And now he's what, one challenge away from the final. Just win, Jordan. Make everyone look so dumb. That's what I'm rooting for at this point.
Yeah, I kind of am too, just because like they should all be punished for their bad decision making.
Unless it's an emotional decision.
Mark, maybe Mark should have like maybe you think this is too much, but should Mark have told them like I'm sending in Jordan, like Brad and Wes when they're having that whole kerfuffle about that whole thing last episode? Do you think Mark should have been like, you know what, I'm no, like we're just gonna send in Jordan, and whoever he picks, that's who's going in. Like,
I kind of do think that. Yeah, I'm not sure what
yeah,
I said last episode.
I think we were fine with it at
I
the
think I was
time.
more fine with it than I should have been. In retrospect, yeah,
Yeah,
like it just. Well, you also think that he's going in like the next couple ones too, so you think they have more time, but not if Brad has this mentality. Yeah, I think if you're Mark Long, you just assume like Jordan's gonna win a final, and you're like, okay, this could come back to bite me. It's possible Jordan wins an elimination, wins a daily, throws me in, but like you got to take a risk at some point, right?
yeah, I think that like they should know too that like based on the previous All Star seasons that a lot of people get into the final. You don't have that many chances to get rid of him.
Right.
Um, you got to send him into more than one elimination
Oh,
at
I hope he
least.
wins. I hope he just wins and makes everyone look dumb. That'll bring me joy.
I'm still rooting for Derek. I would love to see a West win. I wouldn't mind seeing Brad win, but also,
I would like a Mark Long win as well, actually. I mean,
I would like Mark winning too.
yeah.
Actually, I would like that.
What about on the
Yeah,
women's side? Anyone you're rooting for in particular?
Kellyanne a lot at this point.
Yeah.
I've always really liked Kellyanne. I know I just said that she's a terrible strategic player, but it's true. Though I think has a good social game in some respects. But I think she's always been a very good competitor on these shows. Her appearance on the Ruins, I thought, was awesome.
Hmm.
One of the great like individual female performances in a season, I would think. Um, and almost beating the Alliance at the end in the final with Sarah. So I feel like if she would have been on more seasons when she was like at her prime, like I
Yeah.
feel like she only did like 2 seasons when she was young, like the Island and the Ruins, and then we don't see her again until Bloodlines, I think. So I feel like if she had done more seasons during then, she could have won at some point, and been like a face of the show type of character. But just yeah. So I think it would be cool to see her get her due now.
Plus, she kind of got robbed, dude, on season one of All Stars. Like John A got her win
Yeah.
season two, but Kellyanne, one of the robbed players who got just screwed over by the format, having there only be one overall winner. So stupid, so dumb. So for that reason, yeah, I would like to see her get a win here too.
And that pet sanctuary. That's a nice thing. That's
Let's
a
get
nice
that
thing
pet
to do with your money.
sanctuary. Yes, Joseph. I forgot about
Yes.
that. A better
Yeah.
reason than vague for my family, even though I just won last season and
Dude,
theoretically
yeah.
should have
MJ,
been
I'm
able to
sorry,
take care
buddy.
of them.
This is very hard to sympathize with you on having another 250,000 in your bank account. Like that is
Yeah,
you're not gaining many fans with that confession.
no. Okay, I want to get to the elimination. Or would you like to hear some of the quotes Sylvia said about Kellyanne this episode? Choose your adventure, Joseph.
I'll go the latter.
Okay, because
I love the quote.
I forgot to mention them. We're going back. We're going back to this conversation. Okay, some of these happen later.
Okay.
Sylvia goes, Kellyanne can eat shit with an extra side of gluten. If something
That was
happens
good.
after she goes in, if something happens, y'all better step on Kellyanne's throat. Kellyanne can eat shit, and of course, fuck right off Kellyanne.
What did Kellyanne do to her?
Oh, okay. Well, I can help you out with that. There was that one time when Kellyanne sent Sylvia into the elimination, and I believe she said sorry. I mean, come on, Kellyanne. Like, right? Okay, Joseph, like, she said sorry. She said sorry, Syl.
Yeah. Not enough.
No, that's not enough. Really? What? Okay. Well,
That's not enough.
in your opinion, okay, I think this is a perfectly valid reason to start a rivalry. Again, I want to know if there's something behind the scenes that they didn't show. I don't know. It makes no goddamn sense. Elimination? Elimination time?
Elimination. I did think it was interesting that Nehemiah had never been on a challenge during or near his birthday.
I actually did not find that interesting.
I said it was surprising. I didn't say it was interesting.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Clarify. The elimination is called Stacked, and it sucks. It is a bunch of people waving a wand around a maze, trying to get the wand out of the maze, and then putt-putting a ball through a hole.
You know how last week we were talking and joking a little bit about how some of the challenges were like do a math problem and then ring toss. Well, guess what? Now it's croquet plus a maze, the kind that you might see on the back of a children's menu at a local restaurant. That is where
And it
we're
was
at.
still giving these contestants a lot of difficulty.
It. Look, I'm not saying it wasn't appropriately.
Is a word
paced.
search next?
Probably. Dude, what has happened to the show? I'm so confused. Why are they doing this like this? What? Is it just me? Or did they start out the challenge with like the least in shape players in season 1 of All Stars and relatively hard challenges, and now we've gone in the opposite direction. They're like bringing in all these beasts and then doing like schoolyard or I don't like again back of a napkin problems for these eliminations and challenges. I don't get it.
This sounds like a challenge that you and me would have made up last episode as a joke.
It basically was,
and
I think, yeah.
it actually turned out to be an actual challenge. So Sylvia gets the choice of who to go against in elimination. It seemed like she was gunning for John A, but then, switches it to Naya once she
Gross.
sees that it's a puzzle.
Yeah, she does.
I'm
She
drinking soda.
Sylvia picks this person to go up against an elimination. Again, picture on the screen for you podcast listeners. Naya's so in the zone, it's scary. It should have been scary
Yes.
to Sylvia here. I get her
She was
reasoning.
locked in.
Yeah, for sure. I get her reasoning. John A seems to be good in puzzles. We all know that. Blah blah blah. I wouldn't really want to go up against Naya in anything at this point, though, except paddleboarding.
If I'm gonna go against Naya in something, it would be this. I'm surprised she got it in one putt. That was impressive.
It was. She just smoked Sylvia in every way. Oh my god, this was so fun for me to watch, dude. I enjoyed this elimination. It's as dumb as the elimination itself was. Watching Naya just destroy it, especially after being called in because she wasn't thought of as a good puzzle threat, and especially getting a hole in one. Man, that was just awesome. Go Naya.
Yep. And Sylvia bows out gracefully,
Of course,
as
yeah.
expected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She tells Kellyanne to fuck right off. Once again, not really sure what Kellyanne did to warrant that, but she must have a good reason.
Surely.
And I'm good on Sylvia, on these shows. I think I'm good on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen what I've I feel like she is a good competitor and pretty good strategically. I actually too. I think she actually made some pretty good decisions this season,
Yeah.
but socially, just too prickly. I think, and that's what ultimately screwed her over.
Yeah, I look. No, there's no faulting her game. She's competent. She's good. She tends to find herself in a solid alliance a lot of the times. I mean, it helps that she had Kayla here too, but yeah, she's been fine in all those aspects. Don't want to watch her at all
Yeah.
ever again. That'd be great.
Would you would you say she to me she's like an 8 out of 10 B type of player? Like she's pretty good, but she's not like, in that upper echelon.
Um, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I still doubt her chances of ever winning a final. So for that reason, I'd put her more at C
Well,
plus.
well, to be fair, there are some conspiracy theorists out there who think that her and Joss actually won that final on Final Reckoning.
You know
Just
what?
throwing it out.
Thanks, Joseph, for reminding me. Again, I did not watch that season, so I actually forgot that she was even close to winning a final. Also, her partner was Joss,
Yeah.
though, right? I mean, surely he helped in large part. No,
Oh, for sure, but like also too, you can't be if you're the slowest person on your team. You know how that is. You're just gonna drag your partner down. So she was,
she's
I
fine.
don't
Okay,
remember that final, so
yeah,
I don't remember how well she did.
I take it. I take it back then. I take it back. She can win a final for sure. Yeah, she's probably fine. She's probably fine. Never again. Please don't. Please don't bring her back. So many more women you could bring back.
So many more classic women too, like actual like
Yeah.
people from the past
How is she
who
even
we'd
an
like to
alternate?
see.
Seriously, seriously,
Yeah.
this is supposed to be. I feel like the show is straying away from its core, like season one purpose a little bit. I would like some more OGs. I would like it to be more fun and goofy, not the eliminations and challenges. I'd like those to be like the challenge
I,
eliminations. Yep.
I wonder if they think we like seeing like friends on the show or something, and so they're like, "Oh, we'll put them both, Kayla and her." But it's like, no, I don't really care. Like, I'd rather just be people who hate each other,
I don't
and
know.
their friendship's not even legendary. I don't remember them. I remember them hating each other on Invasion. Actually, they don't have many like bright spots together on the show. So
It's
I
weird.
don't know. But so the next up, MJ picks the best choice, I would say,
Yeah.
in this type of challenge,
Yeah.
in Derek, and he
Sure.
loses. So what does that say about MJ?
Again, Derek was so bad at getting the shots off, and yet MJ was still on the maze by the time Derek hit his 38th shot into the hole.
He hit two roadblocks. He
Dude.
said.
Two roadblocks. Oh yeah, that's tough, man. Yeah, that's look,
I
valid
didn't look at this
excuse.
maze, but I feel like mazes are so easy, right? Like you just look ahead while you're doing it. Like I don't know.
It's not even that big of a maze. Like it's again, you could fit it on a postage like stamp probably almost.
Maybe it's harder
That's
up
really
close.
bad comparison. Maybe.
We'll give them.
Ooh, it
We'll
must
give
have
them
been. Surely it must have been. And Derek's shots, some of them were so bad. I mean, again, we're gonna give him credit for hitting some divots along the way.
that. That was so funny. That was so funny.
Bionic Brad at it again in the confessionals, dude. Divot, divot. Any Friends fans remind you of something? Go ahead, go on.
Those their steroids have really got him high strong. He's just like really obsessed with like the divots.
He was
He's very like
you can't have those divots. Honestly, Brad was totally right though. Derek was scuffing up the sand a lot, and he probably did make it harder on himself than he needed to. But eventually,
Yeah.
a broken clock is right twice a day, and Derek eventually just managed to get one of the shots in the hole. And there's one person who was not very happy about this.
Eric just put up a picture of Johnny with her hands on her face. Oh man. Oh yeah. Johnny is really upset that her platonic, 100% totally not challenged boyfriend MJ is leaving, and that's the end of this show. Friendship
This, this season, just wait.
this season.
I can't wait to see them on an X's season in the future. They're gonna
No,
be great.
Eric,
They're gonna be.
friends. A friend season. Come on, man.
Okay. Maybe perhaps a ride or die season, if that hypothetically
Yes,
were to be a thing
ride
at some other
or
point.
die. Yeah.
Hopefully they die.
All right.
Yeah, it's isn't it weird
Um.
though having this like platonic slash totally they have something going on because they cheated on their husband or John H possibly cheated again, all allegedly. So it's just a blanket statement for everything I'm about to say. It's weird how they're like kind of celebrated on the show, at least up until the last two episodes, right? It's does that strike you as
I feel
odd?
like I feel like if somebody accused me of like cheating on somebody with my husband or whatever, and I wanted to like, and I wasn't doing anything, I would not hang out with that person anymore in the house. Like if that like became a thing, or like I would try to like slowly separate myself from that person to like not even have that impression out there. So I think that part of it is also telling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no psychologist. I don't know. In any case, I'm just, you know what I'm most glad about? That the storyline is over. We get a couple of episodes without
Yes.
John A and MJ because honestly, they kind of dominated the season with storyline wise. And
Yeah.
was there nothing better some of these episodes, honestly, than them talking about each other in like every single one of their confessionals?
And honestly, neither of them is really that charismatic. Like as far as like TV characters go, like I like John A. She's great and everything, but she's not like electric in the confessionals or anything like that. So yeah, they've been occupying a lot of time last season. Fortunately, you and me didn't even have to talk about that last season. We knew about it, but never got addressed on the show, so we didn't have to speak on it. So
Hmm.
we had our fun with this, but I am glad that this won't be a part of the show anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Same. We'll do our eulogies in a second. First, I just want to say, very happy for this guy, Derek. It wasn't
Derek,
pretty.
yeah.
It was not pretty, but you did get
No.
the win. I liked how he was running around screaming, "I got me lucky stars." That was very funny to me. He probably did it like six more times that didn't make air, but whatever. Derek, we'll give you a pass. You're pumped, and we get that.
I thought Nehemiah saying the thing about him getting injured while celebrating was pretty funny too.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Did he call MJ a bitch after the elimination? He's like, give me your stars, bitch. Like that was great.
Like, give me your key,
I was
bitch. Give
happy
me your
about
key.
it.
Very good callback to
And-
Big Brother 6 once again, Derek. I didn't know he
oh,
was
did he
such a
say
big
give me?
fan. No,
Did he
no,
say
but
give me your key?
no, but like, give me your
Oh,
stars, bitch. Give me your stars. Definitely,
oh.
definitely a callback. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yes, Derek, a huge BB fan.
Yep.
Yeah, this was great. Love seeing Derek happy, and this is why we like Derek, because he's underestimated, and then he goes in there and he proves people wrong.
Yeah. Except usually it's in some kind of physical competition. This time
Right.
it was a puzzle. That's the only difference.
Yep,
Okay.
only different.
So this obvious question: what's the next daily slash elimination going to involve? Like, let's start making predictions. You got any thoughts on that?
Well, I said a word search. Pin the tail on the donkey.
Word search is good. Oh, that's a good one. I like pin the tail on donkey. Possibly limbo. Maybe. Do you think a limbo?
Oh,
Maybe Rochambeau. Maybe they just do rock paper scissors one of these times and call it a day.
is it? Am I crazy for thinking limbo might actually be there? Might there might be something there with that. Like, am I really just like starved for like good challenges that I'm starting to be? I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
I think you are.
yo-yos. Yeah.
Okay, what do we actually want to see? Like, I'll start with balls in, like something physical, really anything, but like balls in. That's a great challenge. They like doing that. I wouldn't mind seeing that one again. Why have we not gotten that?
I like that elimination that Josh and Kyle did, where they had the planks and everything like that, and they had to like jump and ring the bell.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good.
that was
one
tough.
that they did recently.
That was a tough one.
The one that Corey and Bettina did too. I think you could do a one-person version of that with the planks, and that one was pretty good too.
Yep.
There's good ones.
There's so many things they could do that test your endurance, that test your willpower, that test your strength and your athleticism. And we're doing almost none of that, really, in some of these challenges. They've been either like average or bad, I think, in my opinion. And that's been kind of disappointing this season.
How many matchups? Like the only good one was really Jordan and Darrell.
Yeah, I think that was easily the elimination of the season at this point.
Yeah.
West versus Yes, it was okay. Would have liked to see them do something different, but it was fine.
Yeah. I would have loved to see them in a pole wrestle, really, just like
Oh,
West just annihilate Yes.
oh man, don't. Yeah, wishful
That would be
thinking.
great.
Wishful thinking. Okay, wrapping
Not that I
up.
dislike Yes,
Yeah,
but that's what would have happened.
it would have been. Yeah, exactly. Any other thoughts on the episode?
I'm also good on MJ for a while. You know, and John A. I'm good on both of them.
Yeah, and I think I can speak for
Maybe for the
myself.
rest of time.
Look, I will say that I think that going into All Stars 2, we were both perfectly happy / content to see John A, to see MJ, to see some of these players.
I like John A.
Even going
I've
into
never
this,
really liked MJ, but yeah.
yeah, and that's fair. Yeah, and he doesn't do that much for me either, to be honest. But like, we were like, okay, let's see what you got, and I think we saw it, and I think I'm good. I think I agree. Let's get some fresh blood into these seasons. You know, there's some people who
Some fresh old blood.
I could see Darrell time and time again and be happy. I could see some of these people over and over again. A lot of them, though, it's not a huge knock. It's just like, all right, there's a lot of old school all stars that could come back, and I'd like to see them if they want to come back.
How come we haven't had Dan Renzi on this show, and we've
I
had
know.
MJ 2 seasons in a row?
Like,
What's going on?
There's so many people like that I would really be pumped to see, and I'm not even nearly the old school fan that you are. So I don't know. Maybe they don't want to come on. Maybe scheduling. Who knows?
That's not it. That's not it. But yeah.
But I got nothing, dude. I got nothing.
I got nothing. But yeah, so I really liked this episode. I thought this was a very dynamic episode. I like seeing so many different people dislike each other. It's always fun. And it seems like the finals coming soon.
It sure does, as it always does, relatively early. Probably going to get a final 10, make the final by my counts, right? There's 12 going into next episode. Next episode's the last time that someone's getting sabotaged. Weird wording, but if things are as they seem, then we might get a final after that. I haven't been counting the episodes though, so I don't know for sure.
Yes. Should I bring up that thing about MJ that I told you before the episode?
Story time with Joseph. Yeah, let's do that. We'll close on that. Before we do that, I just want to say, as always, thanks for listening to Hello Reality. Us two goobers talking about our favorite show. Please like and subscribe to our podcast or on YouTube. If you made it this far and you're enjoying our content, that would really mean a lot as we try to keep doing more and more fun stuff with the challenge. Thank you, Joseph. The floor is yours. Tell us about your MJ story.
Yeah, so this was an interesting piece of tea I dug up from a podcast Landon did with Susie on her Patreon. I'll just drop this little piece, and then if you want to know the rest, you can subscribe to her stuff. But basically, Landon was on there and said that Landon was on the same season of The Real World as MJ. And he said that before their season, MJ had set up a romance with one of their cast members, a fake romance ahead of time to try to get camera time, airtime on the show. And Landon didn't know about that until after the show. Landon also thought him and MJ were friends. And anytime he would call MJ, he wouldn't answer. And when he finally saw him in person, MJ was like, bro, that was just a TV show. So
cold. Wow.
That's MJ for you. So that's why I had like a bad taste in my mouth for him. I'm just like, I feel like he plays like this persona on the show that is maybe not really who he is.
Yeah, I mean, especially coming from Landon, that's a source that I trust personally, more than almost any other.
Landon does like one podcast every 10 years, something like that. It's not like he's going out of his way to take shots at people or get back on the show. Like he almost wants nothing to do with the show, seemingly. I feel like he's not incentivized to do anything like that.
Exactly.
So it seemed pretty genuine on his part. So,
yeah.
I thought that was very interesting. So I thought that was worth bringing up. Also, if there are any fans of the Real World Homecoming out there, watching this podcast right now. I loved the series finale or the season finale of the New Orleans. I thought it was great, and it surprises me sometimes that MTV can produce such genuinely amazing television. So, just wanted to say that about the Real World Homecoming for any Real World fans out there.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Not me, unfortunately, and not yet. Anyway, maybe someday you'll turn me into a fan. We'll see. But
Yes. It's like a documentary. You know what I mean? If you just look at it through that type of lens, you can get into
all
it.
right, I like documentaries. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I should check it out instead of watching the same dumb YouTube videos that I always watch over and over and over again. So we'll see. We'll see.
And what if I told you that there was a documentary made back in the day and they found the subjects 20 years later and followed them again? That's essentially what that is.
Oh my God. Well, you put it that way. Well, I better stop this podcast so I can go watch it right now. I realize there's one other thing. Okay. There's one other thing I should have mentioned at the top of the episode. We're doing this podcast recording live on YouTube at 3:00 on Wednesday this week. We have scheduling conflicts. I would just like to say we're going to try to get back to Thursdays at 6 like we have advertised and been doing it in the past mostly. Apologies for the scheduling stuff. I know this is not what anyone was expecting it. So if you've been coming to depend on us for your post-work entertainment, just know that it's all Joseph's fault. And I just wanted to end on that note.
It is my fault, but you will have content earlier. So you'll be able to have all the laughs and fun that you have with us a day before you usually do. So I thought that was special.
It's very special. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next week. Hopefully at Thursday at 6 p.m. on YouTube at Hello Reality. Bye.
See.
Strong finish. That was like an MJ whoop or whatever he does. Whoop, whoop. I'm so glad we don't have to hear that again.
Yeah. I'm tired of Diet Landon.